Hey guys, so I'm out here in the garage working on the cabinets again, and I've done a ton of testing. If you haven't watched those videos, go ahead. I think I posted one or two, but I'm pretty happy with the solution I have so far. So this foam cannot be painted directly. Any kind of paint that I tried would crater it and just kind of dissolve it a little bit, and it just didn't end up being a smooth finish whatsoever. So I figured out that if you resin it, if you just paint a layer of resin over top, then it'll be fine. So what I've decided to do here, so all on the inside here on both of these cabinets, I just took a paintbrush and put down a layer of resin. And then I dropped in a layer of fiberglass. Then after that was in, I painted over the fiberglass again with resin to smooth it all out. So far, I think that's going to be really good. I think it's going to work. And on this cabinet here, I did the whole walls in that because it is so tall. And then on this one, it already felt pretty solid. So I just went a few inches up, got the floor of the shelf, and then I went a few inches up there as well. And what I'm going to do on this cabinet here is do probably again about halfway on the underside and do that next once this cures a little bit. And then once this is cured, I would just trim the edges here, sand the edges down, and mind you, I hate sanding. Like it's really, I really don't like it wasting so much time sanding anything really. But it's not bad at all with this stuff. Just do it outside or use a mask because you probably don't want to breathe this stuff in. But it seems like it's working, and just sanding it really seems to give it a pretty decent finish. So I'm out here in the garage. I've got my kerosene heater going and using the new gimbal. So that's why the movement might be a little bit different, but it's looking pretty good so far. I'm pretty happy with it. I did do one piece already inside of the trailer, and I'll go over there and I'll show you that piece here in a second. All right, so this is the piece that I've already done. It came out pretty nice. I think the color's good. I didn't do a second layer of resin on this after the fiberglass weave was put down, but this is going to be under everything else, so I just needed to make sure that it was the right color, really, and strong. And I think it came out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it. It doesn't really has a little bit of push, but I think it's going to be fine. So there's my color. Things are going along nicely, and more to come. Well, I made some pretty good progress today. It looks messy, but I got to trim off the edges, and I think everything I needed to or plan on fiberglassing. I think I got that all done. Again, got all of this. I just got this side done, and then once this is done, I'll trim off the extra. I've already started doing that in a couple spots here. Yeah, so I'll just trim all that stuff up, sand it, but it's coming out pretty good. And this is the other piece here. Oops. Using the new gimbal, so still getting used to it. But yeah, it's getting there. Still need to make some progress. This stuff really took a while to dry today. I had my heater going, but it's still pretty tacky, and I was hoping to get it sanded today so I can get it inside and maybe even get a layer of paint on, but it didn't work out that way. So still moving along on it. So far, so good. Hey guys, so I have the cabinets pretty much done. I just have to do another light sanding. And then paint. But I wanted to get them in here and do a test fit just in case anything ended up changing with the layers of fiberglass. So you can see how they are here in the cabinet. And you can really see how angling this piece here has helped get a lot of light into the cabinet. This one's dark just because there's no light in here, and I guess maybe I possibly could have drilled some holes through here That's an idea, but that would get some light in there. I'm not sure. I do have some more light strip. I could run a light strip into that. I guess I'll have to think about that. But I can always do that later once after they're painted. So another little light sanding, and these things will be ready for paint. It's just stupid cold outside, and I forgot to, or I didn't really have a chance to go buy kerosene today, so I can't run the heater and do any work out here tonight. I just don't feel like being in 4-degree weather tonight. So I have two layers, or these can be 2 deep in here. So right now I just have one for display purposes, but I can double these up, and then I have a stopper piece in the back so they can't slide through to the other side. Then on this side, I don't have anything to stop it from going back to the other side, but this handle does hit there. But I can, like on the front side of this, I could put a couple like dowels here on that side just to keep it from sliding all the way through. But so what I have here is I have this big container. We can use that for bread or cereal and just harder stuff. Or just stuff that you can, whatever, anything really. And what's nice about this is that I can take this out, put this on the picnic table, and yeah, it's all right there. This one is probably going to be for silverware and then whatever other items. I thought about making a second level here with another one of these, but I'm not sure it's needed. I guess I can always do that later if I wanted to. And then on the left side, open space, I don't have a plan for that yet. Maybe a first aid kit or something just to slide in there. And then over here, I just showed you the clear bins there. What else? This whole thing slides out. It's rubbing right now because I still have to do a little bit of sanding there. But that whole thing slides out, and then I have this area here in the front for maybe paper towels, or I could even put cereal there too or something. And then you've seen the fridge before in other videos, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it's come out so far. I'll get some paint on it and see how it goes and see how it looks from there. But thanks for watching. Okay, they're all painted. I left a couple patches because these are going to be on the side. That's the ceiling, or the top that won't be visible. But anything visible, I've got a few layers on and pretty happy with it. I think it looks pretty good. So the next step that I'm going to do is, again, resin anything that could possibly get banged or hit. So this is the left cabinet. This is the left side of the camper. So all of the edges are going to be exposed. The bottom's going to be exposed. I'll be sliding stuff in and out. So all of that I'm going to resin again just to put a layer of protection on there so nothing gets chipped if it gets banged or something. I'm not sure if it would really be required or necessary, but I think it's going to be a good idea. So that's the next step, and once that's on and dry, then we'll get it in the camper. Well, I'm not sure this next layer was a good idea. Unfortunately, I didn't test this. I just did it assuming it was going to be fine. So the one thing I didn't spend any time testing. First off, I can show you how horrible that all looks. This resin does not want to stick to any of this now that it's painted. You can see how it's all bubbled up and yeah, not good. So I actually I painted it on here and it immediately just did not look good. So I got my straight edge and I tried smoothing it out and it just kept getting worse. And it just shows all these lines and everything. So I just started taking the paintbrush and wiping it here and pulling it off. And yeah, there's Cat. So not good. And then on the edges, the same thing is happening. So I have to constantly go through with my paintbrush and just, no, Cat, don't get up here. I have to constantly go through the paintbrush and make sure all the drips are wiped away because it's not sticking at all. So hopefully it comes out okay, but this kind of sucks after all this work, but hopefully it'll be all right. All right, so basically what I'm doing is just running damage control at this point. You can kind of see how it's streaking just like that, so it's really not sticking. So I have another clean brush, and I am just constantly going over everything to try to keep the streaks from sticking. So as this dries, hopefully I've taken off enough resin that it's not going to have like a streaky or horrible look. So I wouldn't recommend this step if you're following my lead on any of this. I just took some paper towels and I wiped off pretty much all of that, and then I went sideways, and you can see it's still very streaky. Yeah, I didn't do it on this one. I'm glad I didn't. I pretty much immediately noticed what was going on, but I really thought it should have some protection on the edges. So by the time this is all dried and done, I'm not sure we'll have left any resin on the edges or any surface, but maybe something will be there just to have a little protection in case I bang it or something. So Caleb's upstairs taking his nap. I was hoping to take a shower and get some stuff done, but I guess now I'm just doing this until it dries tacky enough that I can stop. So far it looks like do not do this step. Okay, I think I've mitigated the damage as much as possible. I just keep going over it with a new paintbrush, and I had a paper towel. I was wiping the paintbrush onto the towel, and at this point I've probably taken off most of it, but at least I won't have any streaks or anything. Okay, so I think I'll be okay. I just put a fan on just to help it dry a little bit quicker, and we'll see how it goes. Well, here we are. The day has finally come. They are done and installed. I'm happy. I think they look really good. I was able to get the edges nice. They seem pretty strong, and they're light. So right now I only have the one tray in there, but like I said in the last video, it's deep, so I can fit a bunch of stuff. This still slides out perfectly. And I just have the top here in place. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to use for the countertop. That'll be next. But I was originally going to use foam and then maybe have sandwich it like I did for the walls with some wood, but I'm not quite sure yet. So that's why it's just there in place. But I'm pretty happy with these. I think the big question would be, would I do it over again? And I think I would. Overall, the project as a whole, the whole trailer and everything has been a lot. And I'm not sure I'd want to do the whole trailer over again. But these cabinets are just a small part of it. And I would do the cabinets over again. It really wasn't too bad, just time consuming. Not labor intensive, just time consuming. So again, to recap on everything, I want to talk about the layers for each of these cabinets. So first, I painted on a layer of resin. Then on certain areas, just to keep it strong, the places that I thought had to be the strongest, I put fiberglass immediately over top of that on the wet resin. Then once that was on there, I painted on, I kind of pushed it in. I had gloves on, so I was pushing it in. And then I had a flat blade, which you might have seen, I think, in the last clip, and just kind of moved it past to make sure all the wrinkles were out. And then I painted on that second layer of resin. I let that dry. I sanded everything. And then I put another layer of resin on just certain parts that looked like it needed it. Then I sanded it again, and then I think I did another layer of resin in a few little spots to smooth things out, sanded again, and then painted. And then you saw in my last clip, the debacle with putting resin over top of the paint. So I would skip that last part if you guys do any of this. But that's about it. I'm liking it. I think the kitchen, or the little dinette area, is looking pretty good. It's dark down there. I'm not sure if I'm going to add a strip light or not. I think the holes, just drilling holes through there with some hole saws would be a decent option, but it's not bothering me yet. So for now, I'll leave it. But that finally concludes the cabinets. And till next time, guys, thanks for watching all these videos. See you next time.